In this video, we will be discussing the foundational attitudes that are essential for cultivating mindfulness. As we've discussed before, mindfulness is the awareness that arises out of intentionally paying attention in an open, kind, and discerning way. There are three components of mindfulness that are important to note. First, intention. It tells you that mindfulness is purposeful. It requires commitment. In fact, your intentions set the stage for what is possible. Second is attention, which involves opening up to the experiences as they unfold for us. And then critically, the third factor is the attitude with which we cultivate the intention to pay attention. I am sharing these attitudinal qualities or foundations, for they are key to the work we will be doing in here. We will be working with them certainly in our formal practices, but also in our informal practices. And soon, you will find yourselves working with them basically all the time in our lives. Consciously cultivating certain attitudes can be quite helpful in getting the most out of the process of meditation. In fact, these attitudinal foundations are indeed the soil in which you will be cultivating your ability to calm your mind, to relax your body, to concentrate, and to see more clearly. 7 attitudinal factors constitute the major pillars of mindfulness. Each one relies on and influences the degree to which you are able to cultivate the others. Working on any one will rapidly lead you to the others. These include non-judging, patience, beginner's mind, trust, non-striving, acceptance, and a challenging one, letting go. 2 additional ones are being offered here due to their great and additional importance: generosity and gratitude. Now, we already possess these qualities or capacities. Much of our lives, however, are spent in engaging in the opposite of these foundational attitudes that ends up tilting the beam for us. We tend to judge, are impatient and mistrusting, constantly striving, denying our experiences, and holding on just so tightly. However, we often forget that these attitudinal foundations are just as easily accessible to us, and intentionally committing to engaging in these will possibly allow us to achieve more of a balance for us. So let's talk about all of these, with the acknowledgement that there will be several invitations throughout this course to experience these foundational attitudes, both in our formal practices and in our informal practices. Non-judging. We judge everything. Everything is categorized by the mind. Who is in or who is out, if we like it or don't, what we can do better than others, who is better than us, who has more money, who's better looking, who's smarter. We do that with our food. Like it or not like it, too hot, too cold. We react to everything we experience in terms of what we think its value is to us, and based on the attitude, the perception we carry. This work invites us to be an impartial witness to our experience, and even if it is not all experiences, inviting us to be non-judging at least for some of these experiences. Patience. Most of us are accustomed to moving fast getting things accomplished quickly before we move on to the next thing to be done, checking things off the list, juggling a number of projects at the same time. We want things to happen now. We so easily get impatient. Mindfulness knows that there is an inner wisdom that comes from slowing down, and it takes patience to reset the busyness of the mind and allow things to reveal themselves in their own time. Beginner's mind. You only need to watch children at play to see the veracity of living inside each moment. The concept that each moment is fresh, and no matter how often the mind moves away from the original object of attention, it is possible to align one's intention to be present. The richness of present moment experience is the richness of life itself. And to see this richness, we're asked to cultivate a mind that is willing to see things as if for the first time. Another attitudinal foundation that we will work on here is trust. This basic trust in one's own intuition and authority, turning towards one's own sense. In here, we're going to be engaging in a lot of movement, mindful movement, but inviting you all to trust your bodies for what you can and can't do. Tuning in to what's going on with you and trusting that. Non-striving. Much of our lives are spent in doing. The idea of being with an unfolding process with no preconceived agenda is liberating. To drop into each moment for its own sake, to wake up to the possibility of being present, resting in the genuine knowledge that this place of non-striving can gently soothe and make space for a tuning in and tuning towards. Acceptance. When we stop our busyness and get in touch with the contents of our mind and our heart, we can stumble into aspects of ourselves that are difficult or unwanted. Inviting you all to befriend those places of feeling and thought, giving them as much space as they need, allowing them to be known just as they are. Acceptance is not passive, but in fact requires a compassionate courage to witness without changing what is arising. Letting go, or perhaps letting be. It may be one of the most difficult of all the foundations. We have a tendency to hold on to things. These are perhaps things, people, events that we care about. We want to hold on to them, stay with them. We want them to last longer. But we also do this with negative things in our lives. Mindfulness invites us to see this clinging, this holding on to notice when it shows up, and how it in fact may lead to increased suffering. Many times we find ourselves with our fists tightly clenched. Mindfulness practices invite us to at least start releasing the fists and noticing the difference. How do we feel when we just let go, even if it's a slight bit, with gentleness and kindness? Generosity, an attitude that truly begins with ourselves. Generosity is the offering to ourselves of gifts. Perhaps the gift of self-acceptance as an example. Offering this sense of being deserving to open and receive. And we widen the circle even in the smallest ways possible. Offering kindness towards others with no thought of gain or return. gratitude, and affirming and acknowledging of the good things in our lives and the others who helped provide it. Thank you.